Yo, what is up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Big Four Podcast. My name is Luke Spring, and I'm with the usual Brian, Nick, and Andrew. How you guys doing tonight?
Horrific.
Horrific? Terrific or horrific?
Both.
Both at the same time.
Little of this,
Well,
little of that.
a nice
Yeah.
Patriots win on Sunday.
Wait,
Never mind. We'll get to that and more. As always, we are your number 2 source for all things sports. If you know, you know. I got ridiculed last time
You
because
should
I
say it
forgot
twice.
that.
You should say it again.
I'm sorry. No, I'm not saying it again.
Make up for it.
No. But anyways, we got a stacked agenda for you. The Dodgers
As
won the World
always.
Series. As always, yes.
Boo.
The Dodgers won the World Series. That was 6 days ago. Yes, we're late, but we haven't talked about it yet. So we're going to talk about that. We got our usual stuff, picks, clown bag, today in sports, and then a new segment you guys will hear later on. But first, we'll start with the Pats, like we always do. What a game. I feel like we say this every week now at this point, but what a game.
It was a good
Bench
game.
him.
It was just,
What?
It's unacceptable. It really is. I mean, really, who would have thought? We were riding high after week 3, even after the Seattle game. We're like, they basically won. Life is great. Pats are Super Bowl bound, guaranteed division winners. Oh, life is great. I even said that I fully expect them to win every game now. It's not like I go into the game not knowing what to do. And now, I mean, like, Cam getting
they
corona
lost
straight up ruined the season.
They lost to the
never happened-
Broncos, got slapped by San Fran, and then lost to the Bills.
And, man, oh, what a shame. And now you're in a position where it's like you win that game against the Bills and you come away with the win against the Jets and then the Bills lose to the Seahawks, you're a half game back with the tiebreaker against them. Like you are right back in it. And now it's
Well,
like, do you sell, but
the-
you don't really have much to sell?
Well, so this is a strategy, right? The Patriots can lose out.
Yep.
They can just lose out, and they'd get the first pick because the Jets would
Yeah,
have
the
2 wins.
Jets
They'd have
would
the
win
same
2 wins.
record. Yeah, they would have.
Seriously, we could out-tank the Jets.
What about the Giants?
Can we lose? Could the Patriots lose to the Jets 2 times?
I think so.
That's the question.
I think
you
the
think they're
Patriots
that bad?
No, they're not that bad.
Well,
they
the
can
Jets
out-tank them.
Just gave away their best linebacker, their second best
Oh,
linebacker.
no, not their linebacker.
I know. How funny is that?
Patriots can
0-8 to
out-tank the
7-0.
They can outtake the Jets.
That guy's living
Seriously,
life.
They can. It's like Jamie Collins' bet like a couple years ago when he went to 7-0 to 0-8.
Just let Steve
Look at the
Belichick call.
Well, yeah, other way around
both
though for
sides.
the
I know. But if they're gonna tear it apart and trade Gilmore and other guys and get draft picks, it's so hard to say. I don't want to say it. Belichick has to be gone.
No, Belichick has to be
Really?
gone general manager wise, not coach wise.
Sure, he can't make decisions on team roster.
So I agree.
Drafting,
agree.
anything, and he can't
do that. He can
You
stay as a
think a
coach.
I think a big thing they could do is try and trade for another first-round pick, so they could have 2 first-round picks, potentially draft. I don't want to come off as biased at all, but the best tight end in the draft, Fryerman from Penn State, or a quarterback.
Hunter Long, Boston College, kid's an absolute beast, leading
And
college football
we got
in
2 biased
receptions.
picks right here, Penn State and BC.
Hold on. Or a quarterback that's probably going to go in the late round, Sam Ellinger, that I really like and is really starting to come out of shell. He plays a lot like Cam Newton. I like the way he has got a good arm. He can run the football.
Ellinger plays like Cam Newton?
Yeah, he the thrower. He can run. He can do a little bit of both. He's not proficient.
That's like every quarterback. I wouldn't
Yeah,
say
so
he
can
plays
Tom
like
Brady,
Cam.
but he
Well,
doesn't run.
Sam
After
Ellinger
watching
isn't a
Tom Brady my
s-
entire life, I'm not really used to the running quarterback.
Sam
type, I'll
Ellinger
tell you
isn't
that
a
much.
6'5", 250-pound.
He's a big
tank.
dude. He's a big dude.
He's-
No, I
He's more of a pocket passer.
I like the way Sam Ellinger plays. I
Yeah,
think he's a really good
yeah.
quarterback. He's
Finds ways
Prob-
to lose. Does a good job at that.
their defense is horrible. Texas defense.
I don't
Finds
even
ways
know
to
who you're
lose.
talking about. Who is this? What team?
Texas Sam Ellinger.
Oh.
You don't watch college football, so
I don't.
But I think he's going to be a good prospect out of the late first round. I mean, on a long shot, Trevor Lawrence. I'd love to see Trevor Lawrence, but that's
If
a
the
long shot,
Patriots
too.
outtink the Jets and say we have a top 4 pick, and one of those teams is the Giants, the Jets, us, and Dallas, just say it's those 4.
Mm-hmm.
Dallas ain't taking a quarterback. Say Lawrence says he won't go to the Jets, and the Giants are stupid and commit to Daniel Jones. Boom.
Well, so this is actually honestly what could happen. The Jets could honestly be the worst team in the league, and then Lawrence just says, "I don't want to go to the Jets," so he stays back another year, and then the Patriots just go 0-16 next year and get
Oh
Lawrence.
no, not
I
even that.
can't do
He
that.
still goes
I
to the
couldn't. I
draft.
couldn't handle that.
If the Jets are still committed to Darnold, that could be by all means be the same. The poor guy, he
If
sucks.
the Jets are committed to Sam Darnold,
Yeah, that's
It-
what I was gonna say.
He
I'm
stinks.
sorry.
He
let me be the
stinks.
general manager. Let me be
He
because
stinks,
that's
but
terrible.
I mean, he does have Adam Gase as his play caller, so I mean,
That's
it must
terrible.
be hard to even try to win. But
Yeah, but he's never been
they-
good.
they are the Jets. That would be something. Eli Manning and what's his face did the same thing. They said they're not going to go to that team who was having number one. So like, don't draft me. I'm not going to sign with you.
Eli Manning
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
when he was in the draft.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that's what.
No, I don't
that's what
remember
happened.
when Eli Manning was drafted. How long ago
but
was that?
if Lawrence says I won't sign with you, then boom.
Yeah, then what's the point of signing him? Like, you're just gonna get nothing out of him.
That is
Exactly.
true.
And then if the Giants, I mean, Daniel Jones isn't terrible. So I mean, but if you're these teams, how many times are you just gonna draft a quarterback, tear it down again, and draft another one? At one point, you got to be like, screw it. This is our guy for 5 years. We have to see how it goes. Like you can't just keep doing this cycle over and over and over again. You're never really gonna know if you have the guy until you get a team.
Yeah,
These
but they
guys
kind of
don't-
they kind of knew that
They
out.
don't have a team.
But they kind of knew that coming out of the draft. Sam Darnold and Daniel Jones coming out of the drafts weren't going to be those guys. Like that, those weren't the guys of the draft.
You don't take
so,
the guy. You don't take him then at number 3 if you don't think Darnold is the guy. If you don't
I
think
don't know
he's
why
the
they did
guy,
that
you
then.
don't take him. So I don't
People,
know.
teams have
I
this.
don't
Teams oftentimes have this weird conception that if they draft a good quarterback, automatically their team's going to be great. Sam Darnold was a great talent out of college, a great talent. He was surrounded by a terrible team, as you pointed out, Brian. So he's not going to play well. I give you a guy like this year, like Joe Burrow, great talent coming out of the draft. The Bengals were never really a great
Bengals
team,
are
but
this close to being 6-2.
but offensively, they got a good running game. They got a good backup Bernard. They got a legit back Mixon. Offensive line obviously has its issues, but they got Green, Boyd, and they drafted Higgins. Like, they got a good receiving core. Like, he was given the weapons, whereas Sam Darnold came when he was a rookie. He had
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Jamison Crowder. I don't even know. I don't think he didn't have Jamison Crowder. He had I don't know. He had a bunch of scrubs, right? Now,
Robbie
his best
Anderson.
receiver last week was Braxton Berrios was his best receiver last week. Like, seriously, of all players, Braxton Berrios. Like, I think Darnold was I always thought Darnold was a great quarterback out of college, but he was surrounded by a terrible team. He's not going to play well. What do you expect?
Yeah. And so I also want to get to this because Brian, you said that after this game, this man right here should be
Yep.
released or traded.
Mhm.
And for people that don't know, I'm pointing at Cam Newton right now.
Yeah.
Elaborate.
So Bill keeps saying Cam's our guy, Cam's our guy. It all comes down to, obviously, I'm kind of surprised there's only been 2 moves today, but trade deadline's tomorrow at 4. Let's see what happens. If they decide to tear it down, which, I mean, might as well get draft picks if you're not going to be good the next 2-3 years. So if they decide to tear it down, you are doing a disservice to Cam Newton. This guy is fighting for his career. If he does not play well this season, which he has not in the slightest, he will never play another NFL football game. So you trade him to, at this point, I mean,
You can get Jack from him though.
you wouldn't even trade. You would trade him for like a conditional 7th round pick. That'd be like the 250th pick.
Mr. Irrelevant.
Say Dallas. Just say Dallas. Dallas is not out of it. They stink. They are brutal. But they can win that division. If Cam Newton goes there and wins 5 games, that wins the division, and then he has a fighting chance to be the Cowboys' backup next year or go to another team and still have a chance. If you keep him here and you're committed to losing, you are doing a disservice to him, and that there's no point of starting him. He's not part of your future if you're not trying to win. So what you do is you play Stidham the rest of the year. The poor guy has never even started a game. So we keep saying, oh, Stidham, like, Stidham obviously hasn't shown that he's great and all, but he's only ever come in the second half of a game when they've already been losing and the starting quarterback has already sucked so much that he's had to come in. Stidham's never had a week where he's been told he's the starter, so he's prepared to be the starter. The game plan has never been made for him. So if you're prepared to lose and you're saying this season is over, like which it pretty much is, there is no reason to play Cam. You play Stidham. You see what you have. If he somehow magically wins 5-6 games and you go 7-9 or whatever, then hey, maybe you have something in him and it's worth giving him a shot for a full season next year if you're still not there and you don't have a good shot at drafting a good quarterback. And even if they do draft a good quarterback, most likely they won't start in their first year. Like a lot of rookie quarterbacks, if they're not a top 10 pick, aren't starting as a rookie. So it's tough. I mean, we have to see what happens today or I guess tomorrow before the deadline, but if they decide to tear it down, there's no reason to play Cam anymore.
I did see a report that they're not going to be sellers at the
they said
deadline.
that before the game on
So-
Sunday, but like they don't have
Anything
much
can
to
happen,
sell.
honestly. Anything can really
Anything.
happen. So we
Bill's
have
a
no
clown.
idea.
They don't have much to sell.
Bill can just
Gilmore
pull
and-
anything out of his pocket and just surprise the entire world. So nobody has no idea what's going to happen. We're just going to sit and wait and just watch the Patriots either implode or just see what happens for the future.
They could suck, tank, not even trade anybody and go 2-14. Suck so much while not trading anyone still and winning 2-3 more games. Make a couple trades to actually get players or not even. Still the Patriots. They could freaking win out for all we know. That's not going to happen, but for all we know, they could win out.
You
Right?
know, I was
Like,
thinking
this
about
team
it.
is weird.
I was thinking about it earlier today, and I was looking at the Patriots schedule. I got bored, and man,
It's hard.
all
No.
I saw was green W's.
Oh,
for the
Here
rest of the
comes
year.
optimistic Nick here.
Oh,
After
they don't
the
call me that.
no, I mean, you win again. See, this is
That,
why.
that name's got a nice
Freaking-
ring to it.
This is
Optimistic
why.
Nick.
This is why the fumble. Cam does not fumble the ball there. The Patriots have I would say 50-50 chance to win the division if they win the game against Buffalo.
All I was thinking about was like
50-50.
before going into the game was, well, I wasn't thinking about, the fine line of this being a close game where the Patriots lose. I was thinking the Patriots win, obviously in a close game, or they get blown out. I never actually considered the fact that it would come down, to this. I was
Exactly.
saying if they get blown out, seasons, throw it in the garbage can. But if they win a tight one and show that they can do it, even missing Harry and missing Edelman, they could then, they could still come and they could still go and they're gonna have an automatic win next week. Buffalo's got Seattle. They could just like that come within a half a game.
Exactly.
Of
4-4 and
first
5-4.
place.
You're
What I was
right
thinking
there.
was I never expected this fine line to get this go that down to the wire and have a fumble determine the fate of the game in which the Patriots lose. So now that I think it over, I mean, well, they made it a close game. They without Edelman, without Harrell, they could still do this, but I just I wonder.
So Brian, I liked
Yes.
your take that you just said a lot better than yesterday because I feel like emotions
Yesterday I said it
played
over text. It was
well. But also I feel like emotions played into it yesterday because it was in the heat of the moment. Because yesterday you're like,
I was mad,
Yeah.
but was I really mad? Not really.
no, but you weren't saying how because yesterday you were just like, oh, Cam's terrible, just trade him. But then today you kind of rethought it and said, he's actually good, and it's kind of because that's what I think too. I think Cam is still really good. His arm hasn't diminished clearly. He has a super strong arm, which he's had in the past. His legs seem to work fine.
That was a hell of a
But
spell.
and like I've said this the entire time.
That
This
is a
should
shoulder
be
problem.
like the MLB season. They've had 8 to 9 guys on the defense opt out because of COVID. They've had multiple practices, up to even 2 weeks worth of practices canceled. Cam had COVID, had to miss a game. Like this has been an absolute mess. Plus, they have a new quarterback for the first time in 20 years. Cam has to learn a new offense. It's an absolute I wouldn't say mess, but it's a lot to handle, even for Bill Belichick and the Patriots. So that's why I wasn't saying, get rid of Cam and let him, just let him go. But when you put it that way, if they are tanking, I would like to see Cam go somewhere else where he isn't just rotting on the terrible New England Patriots, which sounds weird to say. The terrible.
Because
yeah, that's because yesterday Brian was talking as a salty Patriots fan, just this guy sucks, just bench him.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Because all we've known is
it
Tom
was
Brady.
It was the emotions of the fumble in the heat of the moment. But after thinking about it, it makes more sense that he is a good quarterback, and it's just sad to see that his only chance is getting screwed over because of things that really aren't in his control.
And even if he is back next year, and I mean at this point, you win against the Jets, lose against Baltimore, win Houston, Arizona, they're off and on, Chargers, Rams. Their schedule is not crazy to end the year. Say at best 8-8, at best, right? I would say going 6-2 to close, 6-3 to close the year. So at the end of the year, that means you're committing to by the start of the season a 32-year-old quarterback, and I just don't see how it's not worth it. It isn't. If he doesn't show that, if he doesn't bring this team to the playoffs, there's no reason to commit to him. He's just getting older, and he's just going to be less than Cam. Like he was great early in the year. He showed what he could do, but you don't commit to a guy that's near the end of his career when you got rid of the guy that's near the end of his career.
That's where I think you're wrong, is because this season has just been, obviously it's just not what anybody expected. I don't think you should have expected a lot from Cam being in a new system. He had COVID. Like, that takes a lot out of somebody. You can't just expect him to come back. So I really don't think that this year is really a testament to what he's able to do. I don't know. I just think that he has more left to prove, and I feel like they should give him another chance.
What makes me think about, this team could still make the playoffs. What makes me think about it is that, week one we got the great, we got the good defensive performance that we normally have, and I always have faith in our defense. Then Cam shows that he can clearly lead this team to, near victories in weeks 2 and last week when he came down to the 3 feet in the shootout against Seattle, and then when he fumbled when they actually had a chance to win on the final closing drive, and he took us down the field in the closing drive and last week.
The third time he's took us down the field and didn't finish.
And we see that Belichick's obviously got, he's still got it coaching wise. Kansas City, one of the best coaching masterpieces we've ever seen, even though they still lost. I see this, Cam also, in my opinion, Cam wasn't terrible yet. Yesterday or 2 days ago. It wasn't yesterday. He wasn't terrible.
So here's the difference.
He didn't have any receivers.
Yeah. So Brian, here's what you're saying is he's had multiple opportunities to drive the team down the field, and he hasn't. You say that now. After the Seattle game, it's just like we're 1 yard away. It's fine. So, you just like
it was then, but now he's had that was it. He showed that he could do it. He just couldn't finish. But now he's done it 2 times again. He's shown that he's close, but he can't finish. He's 0 for 3, and it comes back to the fact that he hasn't thrown for over 160 yards or 175 yards.
Just say 200.
Only,
that's
200.
The threshold.
200 yards only once against Seattle. And Edelman, I don't think will play again this season. I don't think he'll play a game in a Patriot uniform ever again. He can't move. I don't know how he did what he did in Seattle. He can't play anymore. He just
he
can't.
Was dying in Seattle.
I don't know how he did it, but he can't do it anymore. You either trade him in Tampa just so he can sit next to Brady and give him high fives and say, "What's up, babe?" Other than that, he should just retire. Or
in Seattle, he barely got up after making that fantastic diving play at like midfield over Jamal.
I know he can't play anymore. He can't do it. I just feel bad for him. So yes, Cam doesn't have receivers. I wouldn't say he's shown that he can something's wrong with his arm. I mean, the guy throws the ball into the ground. Like, no, he throws the ball with a downwards angle. Whatever. But besides the point, if you don't go into a rebuilding season with Cam Newton as your quarterback, if this season is a wash and you're still rebuilding next year, what are you doing with him? You're not building with him at that point. He's not part of your long-term plan.
I think this is where we disagree. I think you do rebuild with Cam Newton because, I go back to when we were talking about, Darnold and the Jets. You put a good rookie quarterback in a situation where they don't have the necessary weapons to thrive in the league, and you put them in that tough of a spot, they're not going to develop. So you keep Cam Newton as a placeholder as you build more weapons, receivers on the defensive end too. You build more around him, and then once you feel like you've got enough weapons and assets to put a rookie quarterback in the environment and in the proper environment for him to succeed, that is where you go after the main gun. That's where you go after the quarterback once you feel that he has the necessary tools to thrive, like the Bengals did. I think the Bengals did a great job of doing that with Burrow. They didn't just draft a quarterback right away, toss him into the fire. They kept Dalton. They had 1 year where they didn't really do much, and then they drafted Burrow, and now he's got great receivers and he's playing great ball. And the Patriots need to do a similar thing with the next quarterback that they draft, even if it's Stidham. Put him in a scenario where he's got assets to thrive, or else he's not going to thrive and develop, and it's just going to be another bust.
But then I just think that's wasting Cam. That means you're just like your career is
over.
He's
32 years old.
But then
he just got released by the Panthers, and the Patriots are paying him next to nothing to play for to play. But then, I mean, he's at the point in his career where he's past his prime. He doesn't have it anymore. He's 32 years old. You're not going to get. It's just you're wasting Cam. But honestly, he's just going to go to another team and be another placeholder for another rookie while teams rebuild. He's not going to go to a contender. Like you say, he's going to go to Dallas. Well, sure, but I think Dallas might also just throw the season in the trash too, even though they got a chance. They don't have a Super Bowl chance. And I think that, you get get Prescott back next year. You draft defenders. You're solid on both sides of the ball, and then you actually contend. So wherever Newton's going to go to next year, he's probably not going to go to a contender that needs him, because most contenders already have good quarterbacks. I mean, he's just going to be another placeholder on another organization.
All I'm going to say to wrap this Patriots conversation up, because we've been on it for a while, is if the Patriots do stick with Cam and or Stidham, and they don't want to draft a quarterback, because they're going to have a middle of the pack first round pick, maybe even a higher first round pick. How Bill Belichick GM would it be to draft a linebacker or a safety in that spot? That would be hilarious.
Very likely.
Safety would be unacceptable.
This is why you can't. If you are,
you need to draft a weapon. Obviously.
No, I know, but I'm saying how GM Bill Belichick would that be if he drafted a safety or a linebacker in that middle first?
I wouldn't be disgusted with a really good linebacker, because I wouldn't be.
Come on.
They get destroyed on the ground game in and game out.
That's because they have a million people opt out.
It's just Hightower. It's just Hightower. They can't tie. I mean, I wouldn't be disgusted with a legit linebacker.
They don't have a D line. They have linebackers. They don't have a D line.
I mean, yeah, I understand that, but
you need a Wilfork. You need the next Wilfork that's there for years.
Just need somebody to just take up double teams.
Safety, yes. I'm just going to contest the linebacker there, because I wouldn't throw up if I saw them draft a linebacker.
You can't have
a safety or an offensive lineman. Yeah, then we have a disagreement. Then I'd scream. But I mean, I'd be disappointed if they didn't draft a weapon.
What about a kicker?
Justin Rohrwasser on the practice squad, 5th round pick.
I don't even know that
Bill, if they trade and stockpile draft picks, I do not want Bill Belichick making a single decision on who they want. Not one. He can pick the O lineman. I'll give him that. Owenu, Haran, Tooney. He signed David Andrews.
Isaiah Wynn. He's done a good job with offensive linemen.
They got a good O lineman.
That doesn't mean I want him taking an O lineman in the first round.
No.
Because I feel like
they don't need it.
By the way, speaking of offensive line, man, they played great against Buffalo. Damian Harris, I'm excited to see when he's the starter day in day out, how they're gonna use him, because 100 yards now twice. I love that.
Yeah. Well, that's enough on the Patriots. We talked a ton about them, and I really don't think anyone who's listening to this cares that much about the Patriots, but who knows? Whatever. Moving on, believe it or not, we haven't talked about the Dodgers winning the World Series yet. That was 6 days ago, Tuesday, one day after we came out with our podcast, our 20th episode. Thoughts? World Series number, what is this? 7? I don't want to say the wrong one.
What? Oh, Dodgers 7th. Yeah.
Seven.
Yeah.
Okay, I was right. Yeah, 7th. Yeah. Open the floor.
Fire the man.
Kevin Cash.
Yes.
You see,
We'll get to that later, but yeah. Go ahead, Nick.
I think, we're going to talk about the Kevin Cash thing later. But I was really, I opened my mind to, and I sympathize with Kevin Cash, and I understood the situation. He's an analytics manager. Dave Roberts is an analytics manager. I think they are two very, very good managers. And at the end of the day, I think the team with the deeper roster was going to win, and that was the Dodgers. They just had the better hitting, and then, I just think the Dodgers were going to win this World Series. And good for the Dodgers, and it's been a long time coming.
Good for Clayton
I
Kershaw
really,
finally.
I really, I didn't. You guys hated both teams. I mean, you guys hated the Dodgers, and you're rooting for the Rays. I mean, I really just want to see a good series, and I felt like we got a good viewing experience of the World Series. I felt like it was actually a fun watch overall.
Yeah. Well, when you add the best player at baseball, yes.
Yeah.
Best
Randy
player in baseball.
Arozarena.
No.
Both of
Mookie
them.
Betts
And Randy.
to your roster,
Second best,
then
that's all right.
it kind of takes you over the hump. So you kind of expect to win a World Series when you have a team that's made it to 2 out of the last 3. And then, I mean, you get to 3 out of 4 this year and you win it because, hey, I mean,
I saw this today,
their pitching
too.
was good. Their hitting was good.
Yeah.
I mean, Corey Seager, obviously insane the entire postseason. Then Mookie Betts defensively was just ridiculous.
I saw this thing that was interesting, too, today. Arozarena is rookie eligible for next year, too. He didn't play enough games or have enough at-bats for this season as well, so he's rookie eligible next year as well.
Oh, so he's like Ben Simmons.
So he's technically a prospect right now.
Bruh. That's
who hit 10 postseason home runs and 1 NLCS MVP.
He's going to be fun to watch. I think he's obviously showing he's got great power to the opposite field. He can hit for contact, and he can run. He can run like the wind too. I think he's going to be obviously the next rising star. I didn't expect it. I had no idea who this guy was until he emerged in the what was it, the ALDS, where he had his big emergence. I didn't really know who the guy was. But, I'm glad I got to watch him play in this postseason, and I'm really excited to see.
I'm telling you, man,
next year
the Rays aren't going to go away. They have Glasnow, Morton, and why can't I think of their other one? Snell. Yeah, Snell. They have they are not decent, a very, very good starting 3 pitchers right there. Their bullpen is amazing. And then they also have the number 1 prospect in freaking baseball, and Wander Franco, who still has yet to make his. They are not going to go anywhere. They are going to be a very good team for a long time. They might have to start paying players, but I think that they will if it means going back to the World Series.
That's in a couple of years. I mean, paying the big one. I mean, that's they still got like a year or 2 of that. So I mean, I know. Just hats off to them for going so deep on that budget. I mean, hats off to Tampa Bay. They got
that's all Bloom, which is. Who's on the Red Sox now? Let's go. But the Red Sox are a whole different project. Believe me, they're an entirely different one.
Well, it's not like the Rays were the cream of the crop when they were.
That is true. A
couple of years ago, so we'll see.
Yeah. It's so good. It's really fun to see Tampa year in year out compete for at least a playoff spot, especially I'm gonna say it again, like on that low budget. They're not gonna sign Mookie Betts or Garrett Cole or they're not gonna sign a Mookie Betts or a Garrett Cole or a Mike Trout. They're gonna they stick to their prospects, they stick to their farm system, and they develop a great pitching staff. They sign the cheap guys, and those guys always, overperform, and it's really nice. It's really nice to watch. It really shows that it's not like as what I used to think the MLB. We had this conversation earlier in the podcast where it's just like the teams with the best budgets are going to win. Like now Tampa's showing and proving everyone wrong that hey, the teams with that even though they don't have a huge budget, they're still winning, and it's fun to see that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Last thoughts about the World Series, Brian?
Let's see. Oh well, I guess this is related. Rob Manfred. I mean, poor guy.
What a bucket.
Had a little bit of stage fright.
I don't know what that was. People think he was drunk or like
on Wednesday. So yeah, that's what they said. It's like guy had like 30 beers with Justin Turner in the locker room after he got checked out of the game. But I mean, congratulations to the Dodgers on winning the World Series. Corey Seager, you were terrific all postseason. Here is the Willie Mays MVP trophy.
Right, I noticed that right away, and I was just like, "Does Manfred have a stutter?" And
when he was on the stage giving Andrew Friedman and Dave Roberts and company the commissioner's trophy, when he gave him the World Series trophy, he was fine. He didn't. Yeah, he was fine.
Because everyone was like, he couldn't handle all the boos.
When he got booed, he made it through that. But then when he was doing the MVP, something happened, and then he talked to Tom Verducci after. I mean, talking to Verducci, he's like, "Yeah, we got word that Justin Turner."
He's got to talk to an experienced. He's got to talk. He's got to go ahead and have a discussion with a very experienced fan. Was it? I would say not fan favorite, but fan not favorite, in Roger Goodell, who somehow manages to smile through all the boos every year.
The 2016 Super Bowl.
Manfred,
oh my God, the boos were so loud.
Manfred should
he
have
deserved
a little conversation with he should have a little conversation with Roger Goodell, in which case Roger would explain to him how one handles the boos.
How to deal with an entire country hating you.
You should write a book on that.
But
should write a
book. Guy's a good book.
Yeah. So yeah, Dodgers 2020 World Series champions, 60-game season. Good job. We're gonna go to picks now. Standings. Andrew had a perfect week last week. Good job, Andrew.
Really?
Yeah. By the way, Luke, I just wanted to comment on something. While I was on the car ride back to school, I was listening to the Big Four podcast last episode, and the pick between the Steelers and the Ravens.
Oh,
you said, and I quote, picking the Ravens is a smart pick, which is why I'm in first. They ended up losing.
Well, I'm still in first, but that's all right.
Whatever.
Nick also said that Deontay Johnson is a difference maker.
Every time I said Deontay Johnson was
zero catches.
I didn't think Deontay Johnson was going to play. I said
you're the only person
he's
who's
highly
ever said
questionable.
A third or fourth string receiver is the difference maker in an NFL football. He's not the second.
He's second on the team in targets.
Claypool
Sorry, he had a catch for 6 yards. My bad. My
on the team in targets. He's a second string receiver on that team.
A whopping 1.6 points.
Wow. That's just
they won.
It's not like they don't have to get that.
I didn't say he was a difference maker. I said he was questionable to play, which is why I was going to pick the Ravens, which I did pick the Ravens.
Which virtually says he's the difference maker because since one of their 4 or 5 wide receivers is questionable.
Well, they also got outpassed by the Ravens, by the way.
Okay, first pick.
It's not like the Steelers
first
offense
pick.
was fantastic.
Well, actually, standings. Brian and Nick are now tied in last with 16 points. Andrew jumps ahead by 2 points with 18 in second, and then I am in first with 21. So,
did you go
0-3?
No, I had 20 last week. Or sorry.
Sure.
So I said I had 21 last week. I got a point this week, but I did all the math again, and I accidentally gave myself an extra point. So I
cheater.
Cheater, you're freaking
cheater. I fixed it. I'm still up. but whatever, it doesn't matter. Nick, do you want to start like you always do, or does anyone else want to take the reins?
Yes. Well, if
You
anyone
wanna
else
start?
wants to start, they can go ahead. Otherwise, I'll
These are
start.
kind of self-explanatory because there aren't really a lot of blockbuster games and anything this upcoming week. But the first one, Clemson Notre Dame.
Jets.
Clemson Notre
What?
Dame, no
Taking the
Lawrence.
Jets in that game.
Parga.
I'm gonna no Lawrence. They look really shitty against BC, so I'm gonna take Notre Dame.
Oh. Brian.
I think this is about as clear of a pick as you could possibly pick. Clemson by 25 plus. Clemson coming off a game that is their yearly oddly close game. Yes, BC played great. Lukalopoulos is going to play good again. Etienne's great.
Uyunglele. I learned how to say it today. DJ Uyunglele.
Whatever. Notre Dame sucks. They are bad. They can't score. They beat a 1-6 Louisville team 12-7. They were against Florida State. They only beat a Georgia Tech team that Clemson beat 73-7, 31-13, and a BC beat Georgia Tech by a larger margin than that as well. Notre Dame just is. They shouldn't even be top 15. They're not that good. Clemson 25 plus, and then Notre Dame will also lose to BC by 10 plus the week after.
All right, Andrew.
You a BC fan or something?
No, it's just Notre Dame's not good. But that's
Clemson.
Clemson. I'm also gonna go Clemson. I don't watch a lot of college football, but I did watch some of that BC game. Uyunglele looked good, and Etienne is probably the best back in ACC right now. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna go.
He could
as well.
start. He could be the starting quarterback for 75% of Division I schools.
That is true.
100%.
Second one, Nicholas. Saints Bucks.
I'm gonna go with Tampa here. Saints. I know they haven't had Michael Thomas, but they still look shaky defensively, and Patriots. Buccaneers have Antonio Brown, and they got all the other weapons. So I'm gonna go Tampa.
Brian.
Tampa. They are looking kind of crappy to start this game against the Giants, but I hate New Orleans. I don't know why, but big Bucks guy now. Go Brady.
Okay. No, absolutely not.
Yeah, it's because New Orleans are a bunch of playoff frauds.
Yeah, that's why they're just one of those teams that's just there but just choke. So it's like, eh.
Well, I mean, Minnesota's
The
not
Yankees.
Minnesota's not going to be there this year, so they might be able to squeak by in the playoffs. But
Facts. No, they'll lose to I don't know. They'll end up playing the NFC East winner, and then they'll lose their road game.
They'll lose to They'll lose to 6-10 Philly at home.
6-9-1 Philly.
Or 6-9-1 Philly at Philly.
5-10-1. It's gonna win it.
Oh yeah, facts. 5-10-1.
5-10, whatever.
They'll win more than 2 games. They'll win like 6 games.
I'm gonna go with the Buccaneers. New Orleans doesn't have Slant Boy, so offense just is absolutely carried by Alvin Kamara.
He's supposed to play this week.
Well,
Michael Thomas will be
Slant Boy
traded.
sucks,
Bold
so
prediction.
He's trash. Saints.
Last game. Sorry, I'm going Buccaneers as well because they're one of the best defenses in the league. And they're a good football team. Last one, Seahawks Bills. Nick.
Seahawks.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Brian.
Yeah, Buffalo. Seattle. Buffalo remains one of the biggest frauds in the league. I mean,
I think Buffalo remains Buffalo's a fraud. I mean, they're going to win the AFC East, but I think of all the 1 seeds across, other than the NFC East, across the league, they're the worst one, disregarding the NFC East.
Yeah, I would.
NFC East shouldn't even be a division. Shouldn't even be a division.
They should be replaced by Clemson, Alabama.
Dude, I'm saying teams. This should be the new thing. Instead of the Pro Bowl, the best college team
plays the worst NFL team.
The worst NFL team.
Every time.
Viewership for that game would be amazing.
It's going to be a blowout.
The college team would win every time.
No, that's not.
It's actually very false.
15 guys on the college team are 15 guys on Clemson
Nick.
are NFL players, while 53 guys on the Jets are NFL players. So here's the thing: do you go top top 10 players on Clemson, Alabama, Ohio State, Georgia, combine them. And
Like
then
an
they would
all
smack
college team.
an all
This has
college team.
officially gotten out of hand.
That team would be 5+ NFL teams because that's basically just giving a team the entire first round.
Yeah.
I agree with that one. But
Well,
Clemson versus the Jets. I think
Clemson
the Jets
versus
are going to
the
win like
Jets,
42-10.
You would think that, but they would be outcoached, thoroughly outcoached. Thoroughly outcoached. Clemson got better.
It doesn't matter, Brian.
Better receivers, better running
An
backs.
NFL
so-and-so.
team
It
would
be
win
interesting.
every.
I know. I'm not saying that they wouldn't. It would just be fun to watch. Better than the Pro Bowl.
It would be fun to watch, but they're not going to have a chance.
Better than the Pro Bowl.
The idea of it sounds great, but the actual game, no.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's no chance. It was just way better than the Pro Bowl. So
the way that it
right,
sounds,
Andrew,
just like, oh, cool.
Andrew, Seahawks, me, Seahawks.
Yeah,
I'm going to answer for you.
I'm going to go with the Bills, actually.
I mean, the Bills got you a point last week.
Yeah, well, they were playing the stupid New England Patriots. Who
Sorry,
might as well
Pat.
Stupid Cam Newton.
Come
They
up
basically
to.
won
All right.
that game.
Moving on. Today in sports, 2016, Cubs Indians, Game 7. The Cubs win their first
that was a
World
good
Series in
game.
108 years.
Rain delay.
Rajay
Ben
Davis
Zobrist with
hitting a
double.
dinger to left off of Aroldis Chapman in the 8th, I believe. That was actually a solid game. I enjoyed that.
So, what a rough 5 seasons for Aroldis Chapman.
Oh, I know. Well, he did win that World Series, but still.
Yeah, but he didn't get the win.
He almost blew it.
That guy sucks. I would have want him on my team.
Well, actually, didn't he technically get the win because he wasn't pulled?
No, it would have been the guy in the 10th inning. The tall, skinny guy.
But he wasn't in when they
Slenderman?
had but they scored the run in the top of the 10th before he came in the game.
Except it would have been the pitcher that won the game.
Wait, did Roger Davis hit in the bottom of the 9th or the 8th?
Bottom
of
of the 8th.
I thought it was the 8th too, yeah.
Yeah, it was
So-
the 8th. Because then in
Same
between
thing,
the 9th
whatever.
and 10th had a rain delay for like half an hour.
I do
Random.
remember
Okay,
that.
Cool. Moving on.
Moving on to our new segment brought to you by Nick Parga. Good job, Nick. Thanks, Nick, for the idea. Rapid fire. Nick's not even here anymore. Whatever. Rapid fire questions.
Quick timeout. What's
Quick
today? The
timeout.
second?
Thanks for our
What else?
sponsor, Nike.
Oh, wait.
Go get. Just do it. Go ahead, Brian.
Man, I'm dead.
What, Brian?
Right.
Never mind. I was just helping Nick out. He's ready.
Oh.
Thanks,
Plus, Andrew was correct. Olderolis Chapman got the win in that game. Just throwing it out there.
Really?
Freaking
Yeah.
moron.
But yeah.
He didn't.
Look to your local sports store for Nike sneakers. They are the best quality, and you'll get a nice run out of them. Just do
Congrats. You're getting free sponsorship over here. But,
Yeah.
I mean, like 2 people are going to listen, so it's not really worth paying us anyways.
I'm more of an Under Armour guy.
Of course you are, freaking Jordan Spieth.
it. All right, whatever. New segment
Tom Brady.
brought to you
Cam
by
Newton.
your own Nick
I hate
Parga.
Cam Newton.
I
Rapid
do.
fire questions. We got 10 of them. Each person gets about 20 to 30 seconds to answer. Elaborate as much as you can. We'll just go in order so I don't have to say, all right, Nick, what do you think? All right, Brian. So we'll just go around in a circle. We'll just do exactly how the picks go. We'll go Nick, Brian, Andrew, then me. Rapid fire, 20 to 30 seconds. Nick, first question. Are the Dodgers 2021 favorites already for the World Series?
Absolutely. I think they got a strong front end of the rotation. They got some great hitting. Mookie Betts is probably going to win MVP. They got Bellinger. Corey Seager's coming out of his shell again. They need to fix something in the bullpen, but it's clear that Dave Roberts trusts his 2 or 3 young guys out of the bullpen, Gonzalez and Gratterall. I mean, it's clear that the Dodgers should be favorites to win the World Series, and I think they will again if the trend continues.
100%. They kind of solidify the back end of that rotation with Price coming off of the opt-out. Obviously, you have basically an MVP outfield. It's going to be interesting to do what they do with an aging Turner, but he's still been good. Yeah, I mean they're the favorites. They will be. Braves are there close, but yeah, it's by far LA.
Yeah, I think it's LA too. It's no real question. I mean, you got the best player in baseball. I mean, great defensive player in bets. I mean, he's just all around great player. Just their outfield is nasty. Their pitching pretty good. I mean, Kershaw is getting up there in age, and like you said, Turner. But I still think that they have the best chance. But like you said, the Braves also watch out for the Padres.
Oh yeah, totally forgot about that.
Yeah, I agree with all of you. Dodgers should be the favorite, and they are right now. Again, Padres. I also think, especially if they get Trevor Bauer, that would be huge for their pitching rotation, and they would be a legit contender. But no one's touching the Padres. Literally have amazing hitters 1 through 10, but you don't even need 10. So yeah, right now they're the favorites. Second one, Nick started off. NFL Rookie of the Year so far, Burrow or Herbert?
Burrow, he's shown that he can compete with some of the best teams like Tennessee. I mean, obviously Herbert can too when he competed with New Orleans, but I think Tennessee is a little bit better than New Orleans, especially because New Orleans didn't have Thomas. Burrow's really using his weapons well. He's shown his escapability out of the pocket, even with a terrible offensive line. Yeah, I definitely think Burrow at this point right now should be the Rookie of the Year.
I would go the same. Justin Herbert puts up a ton of stats, but I think Burrow has just Chargers blew their leads a lot. I mean, obviously, it was like 4 straight games of like 17, 17, 16, 21 or something like that. I don't know. Burrow's good. They're really close to being 6-2. You can say the same for the Chargers. I like Burrow more. I don't know why, but they're close. I'd take either guy on
Toss
my
up in
team.
my
So
opinion.
go Burrow.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Joe Burrow, and I mean, they both haven't really won a lot of games, but I mean, Burrow has 2 wins and a tie. The Chargers in general only have 2 wins, and one of them was Tyrod Taylor. So, I mean, he's winning more games. Stats wise, it might be Herbert, but overall, I think it's Burrow.
Yeah, it is close. Right now, I would go Herbert, and I think it will eventually be Herbert. Just because he has a lot. I mean, I wouldn't say a lot more weapons, but I like Keenan Allen and Mike Williams better than aging AJ Green as much as he's been starting to come back, and Tyler Boyd. But yeah, it's really tough right now. That's going to be one of the tougher decisions in awards. But right now, I think it's Herbert.
Real
just
rookie
because
of the year is Michael Onwenu.
I don't even know who that is.
All right,
Is he a
let's
Patriots
simmer.
dude?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
I think.
Oh,
Why would
Devin
Brian
Asiasi,
say?
if we're
He's
going
the
at that.
Onwenu is the highest rated rookie out of all rookies. Just saying.
All right, whatever.
But he doesn't play quarterback.
Doesn't matter.
So doesn't.
Facts.
Just
But yeah, mine's
irrelevant.
Herbert. Third one, Chiefs or Steelers out of the AFC?
I really like Kansas City. I think they're going to be a dynasty for years to come. I think they look solid. They got the players they need on defense. Offensively, they have the best quarterback in the league. Well, right now it's obviously Russell Wilson, but Patrick Mahomes is one of the best quarterbacks in the league. They got a lot of weapons. They just had Le'Veon Bell, solidifies a good backfield with the rookie Edwards-Helaire. They got a pretty good offensive line. I like the Chiefs.
Yeah, Chiefs too. Us Steelers, we've said it kind of the last couple of weeks. They still haven't played. I mean, they back-to-back weeks. It's been impressive playing Tennessee and Baltimore, but they squeaked away with a game that could have gone to overtime against Tennessee after blowing a big lead. And Baltimore.
And the Giants week 1.
Yeah, but Baltimore sucks. I hate Baltimore. But yeah, I would say Kansas City. They have the experience as of late. Mahomes is good. Yeah, I don't know about their defense. I wouldn't say their defense is like anything special, but they're an overall solid.
They got the tools on defense to be average.
They're fine.
I'm gonna go Chiefs, and I mean, when you get to the playoffs, Patrick Mahomes is just gonna do Patrick Mahomes things. They're only 1 game back this year. Home field doesn't really matter that much. Maybe more fans towards the end, but who knows? I don't really think it matters where Patrick Mahomes is going to play. I think Patrick Mahomes is going to win.
Yeah, I'm going Chiefs too. And when I wrote this question, it made sense in my head, but then I thought about it and I was like, this is a stupid question because to me, I don't know what it is about Pittsburgh, but they don't seem 7-0 to me. And I say that every week and they continue to win. But there's something about them where it's just
now
like
they have Dallas.
I know, but
Yeah, they're going to go 10-0. Their next 3 games are absolute cakewalks.
There's something about them that I'm like that they're not a legit. They're a good team, but they're just not a legit undefeated team. I don't know what it is.
Like the Patriots last year.
Yeah, or talk about not legit. The 2017 1 seed Boston Celtics.
Oh, come on. Isaiah was great
That was
that
not
year.
legit at all.
Number 3 in MVP voting.
Yeah. Who?
He's coming back.
Oh,
So.
IT. Yeah. But still, they were down 2-0. They were down 2-0 to the Chicago Bulls.
Okay, they won in 6. You have
regardless,
games.
one of the worst one season of all time.
Whatever.
Number 4. Next question: should Snell get fired? Or sorry, should Cash get fired because of the Snell decision?
You see, I thought he should at first because I was angry, but I don't think so.
Facts.
I think Kevin Cash is an analytics coach. He had a plan going in. He's been doing it all year. Starter for 6, reliever. His plan game 6 was Snell for 6. Hopefully that was ideal. Then Anderson, Fairbanks, Castillo to close it out. Hopefully they send him to game 7. He stuck to his guns. He didn't like going through that rotation. He didn't like going through the line for a third time. And honestly, if in my opinion, let's just say that they keep Snell in, and then the Dodgers go lights out. Everyone's mad at Cash because he went through the third time. It's statistically bad against the third time around, and they kept him in. I think either way he was going to get some backfire. So you know what? I don't think because you got them to the World Series.
I think he's not going to get fired. I mean, we were all kind of upset in the heat of the moment. The analytical team should rethink how they approach the game because, yes, maybe it helps and all, but you have to throw that out the window and just look with your own 2 eyes and be like, this guy is straight up dominating. You cannot take him out in an elimination game and they put in the wrong guy too. Hey, you take him out, put in the right guy. Don't put in the guy that gave up a run in 6 consecutive games. So Kevin Cash, stupid decision. You got your team to the World Series in a short season with questionable talent. So good for you, but stupid decision.
Yeah, dumb decision. Shouldn't get fired though. I mean, what are you going to do? If you put in the right guy, great. If you leave him in, great. But anything can happen. I mean, it's the World Series. One mistake should not define what he did that entire season. Led a team to the World Series. Very impressive. Happens to the best of us. I mean, Bill Buckner, straight through the wickets. Didn't see him get fired. So, different circumstances, but whatever.
Yeah, I agree with everyone here. I don't think he should be fired, but I think he's on the hot seat because, like what Brian said, there comes a time where analytics get thrown out the window, and when you see Blake Snell striking out the top 3 batters twice each, then there's something that goes through your head that says, okay, maybe it's fine if he goes through through the order a third time. But yeah, I think that it's just one decision. He'd been managing all year. It's funny that he is most likely going to be a manager of the year candidate, but again, one decision, not the end of the world. Next one, Nick. Carson Wentz. It's only happened once in the history of the NFL, and it was last year by Jameis Winston. But does Carson Wentz achieve the dreaded 30-30 season? He's at 12-12 right now.
I think he has 30 in one stat, and I think he's going to get 30 in the bad stat. I don't think he'll even get 30 in the good stat.
Yeah,
I think he'll be close to 25 and 30. And you know what? Maybe not. I mean, I could definitely see 30 interceptions. I think we're trending definitely more closer to 30 turnovers because he fumbles like a machine too.
Facts. That's what I was just gonna say.
But
no, close to 40.
I don't think he. I mean, I think the debate's not 30-30. I think it's the debate does he even get 30 touchdowns. I mean, seriously.
He won't get 30 touchdowns. He combined turnovers will be over 40. I mean, he turned it over 4 times yesterday. The guy can't throw He is terrible. Jalen Hurts should play for that team. I know they're going to end up making the playoffs because that division sucks. But Carson Wentz is straight
getting a whole playoff game.
Awful.
He got Goddard back. Didn't even use him.
Yeah, good for him. Dallas Goedert's not great.
Ridiculous.
Philly sucks.
Yeah, I think he can get to 30 picks, 40 turnovers. He's not getting to 30 touchdowns.
No, not
And
chance.
if I was the 5 seed in the NFC, I would be throwing a party. I would be so excited because you're moving on to the second round. I don't know who you are, but you're moving on to the second round.
Cardinals probably at this point, right?
Probably
Arizona.
the Cardinals. Yeah, Arizona. They're gonna go to Philly and they're gonna win by 30.
Yeah.
And they're gonna force 7 turnovers.
So I don't think that he's going to have a 30-30 season. I don't think he'll get – you guys say he'll get to 30 picks. I don't think he'll get to 30 picks, and that's not saying that he's good. I'm saying that him fumbling the ball will get in the way of him getting to 30 picks because he fumbles the ball.
That's actually very true.
Like there's no way he gets to – because he's had 12 picks, but he's also fumbled the ball, like 8 times? At least 2 more of those would be picks, of those possessions would be picks, but he's just awful. They need to go to Jalen Hurts and stop using him in these weird formats. Like, I don't know what they're doing. At this point, Doug Peterson, I don't know. I'm confused, but that's besides the point. For these last 5, we'll go clock or other way. Andrew can start these ones. Russell Wilson, is he the undisputed MVP right now?
No question. I mean, his 2 competitors, Aaron Rodgers and Josh Allen, in my opinion.
Oh, come on.
I like that.
Come on.
All right,
I like
Brian.
Josh Allen.
Brian.
Oh,
all right.
my God.
First off,
he gets
these
his-
are
he gets his
20
time.
seconds of interrupted time.
Uninterrupted time.
This is not my opinion. Just so you know, he's a fraud. I don't think he's. That's why I'm saying he doesn't have a chance. Do I get 20 seconds of added time, please?
Sure, go ahead.
Because of
Finish what you want to say.
stupid interruptions. I don't. That's just what I've been hearing. I don't think it's true. And then Rodgers,
Oh, my
obviously.
goodness.
Brian, shut up. Doesn't matter. He's running away with it. I'm just move on.
Okay. Is it my turn?
Yep.
Yeah, what's the reverse order? Wouldn't Luke go first?
No,
Yeah, but
I'll just go last.
Luke's the moderator, so he
I'm the
goes last.
moderator. I'm
Um,
Subban.
Wilson, yes.
Oh,
I
come
think
on. Come on. Yeah, an eye for an eye. There you go.
I mean,
Tit for tit.
I agreed with you there, Chief. But Rodgers has fallen off a little bit, I would say, the past few weeks, pretty severely, actually. I think depending on how Brady finishes out the season, he's a top 3 candidate. And that's so crazy to say. And no, Josh Allen straight up sucks. That guy puts up, he's terrible. He's terrible.
He's not on trial. Russell Wilson's on trial.
And like Josh Allen's last 4 games, like he's terrible. He throws a pick in like every game. He's terrible. He sucks. But I guess it's those Rodgers, Brady, and Wilson. Oh, Mahomes. Mahomes and Rodgers are kind of like close.
Is my turn now?
Yes.
So I'm gonna make you rephrase. Is it MVP now or by the end of the season?
Right now, like if
Right
the
now?
season ended.
Right now, Russell Wilson's the MVP. I think I might have a different response by the end of the season if I'm predicting, but I think right now Russell Wilson is the MVP, just because he's just been unbelievable week in and week out. I don't think there's anyone that can even compete right now. He's the unanimous. He should be the unanimous MVP.
Yeah.
I agree. Russell Wilson. You guys mentioned some because at this point it doesn't really matter. It's going to be Russell Wilson if he doesn't fall off a cliff, which I don't see happening. But one name that you guys didn't mention, who I mean, he's kind of fallen by the wayside these past 2 weeks, but Tannehill still has having a really, really good season. I get their team lost the last 2, but they were undefeated before that, and he has 17 touchdowns and only 3 picks. So I think he is a little bit of an underdog. He's not going to win the He's not going to win the MVP, and no one else is going to. But that's just a name.
More likely than Josh Allen. My goodness.
Yeah. That's
I think Brady's
that's
going
it.
to win it at the end of the year.
That's a quarterback who can be in some conversation. Going back to Andrew, did AJ Hinch deserve another job in the MLB after getting the managerial job for the Detroit Tigers?
I think so, just because I don't know, you deserve a second chance. Alex Cora deserved a second chance coming to Boston. I mean, Detroit will take anybody. They suck. So
That's what I was just gonna say. if you're Detroit, does it really matter who's manager? The guy, even if they cheated, they wouldn't win more than 60 games. That poor franchise, that poor city. Oh, imagine living in Detroit. Whew. But I don't know. Right away, it was like the day he was reinstated. In the first hour, he was hired. That's a little weird, but yeah, who cares? It's
I
Detroit.
think, do I think he deserves to go back? I don't even know if he's that good of a manager just because of the fact that they cheated. I mean, obviously he's been in the playoffs and he's won a World Series with the Astros, so I owe him that. I mean, yeah, they didn't. I don't think they didn't win fair, but still got in that environment and got to experience it. Detroit, like Brian said, they're hopeless. I mean, what to expect at this point? I don't think they really care about the reputation. So, do I think he deserved to be? I don't really know. I don't have an answer for that. But yeah, he's back, and you know what? We're just gonna deal with it. It's not like a matter at all.
Yeah, that's a good point, Nick, because I whatever if he deserves it or not, whatever, it doesn't matter. But that's a good point. We haven't really seen him be a manager because all of the games he won, he basically cheated in. And I get manager in baseball is probably one of the least taxing and I guess draining jobs out of coaches. It's obviously football and probably basketball and hockey and then baseball, but still, we haven't seen him be a manager because all of the games he won, he cheated in basically.
Well, yeah, it's because coaching and being a manager is all strategy.
Yeah, it's just putting lineups together. You don't really even coach. You have other coaches like hitting coaches, pitching coaches. So
exactly,
whatever,
you're just there to eat seeds and tap your left arm every once in a while.
Exactly.
But you got to make the right move.
Maybe tap in that arm a little too early, Kevin Cash. But regardless, we're gonna continue MLB track. We got 3 more. NL MVP finalists are Mookie, Freddie Freeman, Manny Machado.
I want to say Mookie, but I think it's going to be Freddie Freeman.
Yeah.
He was just. I mean, it's close, but I don't know. I just think it's Freddie Freeman. I really do want to say Mookie just because he's my favorite player in the league. He's also the best player in the league, but I mean, you got to give credit to Freddie Freeman.
I'm gonna say Freeman too because I don't know. I think Mookie's kind of like on a team with so much talent that like they're there every year when he wasn't there, so it's like
Durant to the Warriors, except
exactly.
Scale.
Except so that
it's like Tatum in like 3 years.
For some reason, the voters don't love Mookie because in 2016 he should have won MVP and he didn't. And I don't know. I think it'll be Freeman.
I don't like the logic that he's on a stacked team, so he might not. This might be overhyped because he's on a stack. Like Trout was never on a good team, but he's still routinely won MVP, even though the Angels
because that team
never
would
made
win
the
20
playoffs.
games without.
So
exactly.
I don't it doesn't. I think Mookie Betts should win MVP. I'm glad to see Manny Machado in there. I did think that he was quiet. He quietly really did play well above average. He hit over 300. He was up there with Fernando Tatis and home runs too. So I was glad to see Manny Machado, and I think he deserves some credit as much as I hate the guy. And for Freddie Freeman, I think personally he's one of the top at least top 5 hitters in baseball. I really like the way that guy plays. I think he's a great player. But at the end of the day, I think Mookie's the best of the 3. Deserves to win it.
I think it's going to be Freeman. I think it should be Freeman. It's a 60-game season, super short season. You can't really have any slow stints, and Freeman didn't. Mookie started off like the first 5 or 6 games, he was hitting below 250-ish, and I guess 6 games in a 60-game season, that's a slow start. So not to take away anything from Mookie, because after that he was absolutely phenomenal, but I think that Freeman through the entirety of the 60-game season was steady and fantastic, and then that's why I think that he wins it. Again, it's a 60-game season MVP. It means something, but it's not like fantastic. I mean, if you know what I mean. So yeah, same question, but moving on to the AL. Those finalists are Jose Abreu, DJ LeMahieu, and Jose Ramirez.
Jose Abreu. This season I didn't really watch a whole lot just because like Red Sox were kind of garbo, but whatever. LeMahieu was hurt for a little while, but he did lead the league in average. I think Abreu put together a really good season, though. So, yeah, Abreu. That's all I got to say.
Abreu stats are far ahead of everybody else. LeMahieu missed 10 games, so like if you miss 10 games in a 60-game season, like no, like you shouldn't even be up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Abreu. I mean, all three of them. I like. Yeah, no, those were not. Yeah, I don't know. They're all kind of trash and at the same time. They're all good players, but like,
Abreu was
are they
good this season. The other two are
Are they
not.
MVP players? Like, do you consider those three guys MVP players? LeMahieu 2 years in a row candidate. Like, he's good and all, but like, no, Abreu.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna say Abreu. I think Mayhew is a top 3 hitter in baseball. I think it goes unnoticed because he doesn't necessarily have all the power that Aaron Judge has or that Mike Trout has. But I think he's really good. I really like the way that dude hits. He's like it's impossible. It's a rarity to see him strike out. But I think it comes because he missed the 10 games. It comes between Ramirez and Abreu, and Ramirez hits below 300. Abreu hits 317. Ramirez has 17 homers. Abreu has 19. I mean, there's the numbers. Hitting will always take precedent when it comes to the MVP. That's how, it's what the fans like to see. It's what they're going to vote for. So at the end of the day, Abreu is going to win MVP.
Yeah, I agree with all of you. Abreu, most RBIs in the league. What I do think is this is, like you said, Brian, a very odd class of MVP candidates, and it's very interesting to see that it's not going to be LeMahieu because he missed 10 games. But it's very hard to win MVP when your name is not Mike Trout and you don't make the playoffs. But I think Abreu is going to do that. So whatever. Last one. Is Tua legit after his game against the Rams?
I think he is. Like, yeah, the defense did help out a little bit, but I mean, he was a consistent thrower the entire day. He only had one touchdown pass, right? Was it one or two? I think it was one. Yeah. But I mean, when you don't throw any interceptions in your first game, you're just a consistent thrower throughout. I don't know. I think that's a good start for his career, and I don't really see him declining a whole lot. So I think he could be pretty good.
No, he did absolute jack squat in that game. Like literally nothing. He got 2 defensive touchdowns, or a defensive touchdown, a kick return touchdown, a fumble that was recovered at the 1-yard line that the running back ran in for one. So he really only led one drive down the field. He only threw for 93 yards. No, but I think he'll be fine.
Is he legit? Time will tell. And we've seen one start, and we saw a very limited amount of Tua, as Brian pointed out, because of the defense. They put him in good spots, put him at the 1-yard line. He had 3 drives where he didn't throw the football. 2 where he didn't even set up on the field. The other one where he handed off to Myles Gaskin for a 1-yard score. I was impressed. He didn't throw an interception against a decent secondary. He was smart with his decisions. He kept it away from Parker and Ramsey, throwing it to Parker. He won one completion to Parker for a touchdown. I think he spread the ball well. He didn't throw any picks. He just had the 1 turnover was the fumble. Completion percentage was over 50. I don't know what to make of it. Is he legit? Time will tell. I like the way he played, though. I think the Dolphins could be good with him.
I agree. I can't say that he's legit yet, but the man hasn't played football in a year and a half, so got to cut him some slack somehow. And he kind of really didn't need to do anything because the defense did it all. So what?
He got hurt in November last year.
So I guess a year, whatever. It's been a long time, is what I'm saying. And he really didn't need to do anything yesterday because the defense did it all. So this wasn't a very good. I mean, props to him getting a win in his first start and a touchdown pass in his first start. But this isn't really a start to tell if he's a legit quarterback or not in this league. Yeah, that was rapid fire. Not really rapid fire because it took like 15 minutes. It took like 15 minutes, but that's all right. So yeah, that moves us into our last segment, which is Clown Bag of the Week. Presented by no one once again for the 21st time. Actually, no, probably like the 15th because we didn't start this the first one. But
We'll get a sponsor.
regardless, eventually, in a few years. Tune in for in a few years. But we already kind of talked about it. It'll be quick. Kevin Cash and Rob Manfred are our candidates. Stuttering Rob and Moronic Kevin are the nicknames, but whatever.
Yeah, they were both terrible. I mean, it's kind of
Yeah.
funny. Instant little clown bag so far. Tampa looks god awful. Brady's
Still
been
7-3.
7-3, and the Giants are driving. I don't know what's going on. Brady has looked like fine, but like they just can't get anything. They get to midfield on every drive and just stall.
I'm gonna do a quick little argument against Kevin Cash. I mean, I'm gonna defend him because I think the analytics coach, he stuck to his guns all season. Why change his ways in Game 7? Now, I don't agree with the decision. I think he should have kept in Snell, because, like I said, when it's Game 7, when it's Game 6, an elimination game, tensions are high. Guys can do uncharacteristic things and go against their traditional stats. But I wouldn't, if I was in that situation, I probably would have kept Snellen, but I don't blame him. He was just sticking to what he does best. And that's 6-1-1-1 to close out games, 6 with a starter, and then throw in 2 relievers, then Castillo, and he had specific rotation set in mind for Game 6. He stuck with it. I'm not gonna say that's the dumbest decision ever. I think it would have been equally as tough in Game 7 if they were to go on and win. But I still think that I'm gonna defend him there. I don't think he should have been clown back.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, it's certainly not as bad as falling on the 10-yard line with nobody around you. So
That was ours last week, right?
exactly, yeah.
Yeah, last week. Or stuttering, like you're gonna have a heart attack on national television.
That we should discuss a little more.
I think that one another thing. So just random. The ratings for the World Series Game 1
had to be bad.
Was double of any NBA playoff game, finals game, anything.
Nobody wanted to watch the Mickey Mouse ship? Probably not.
But that's interesting because the Tampa Bay Rays were in the World Series. And
Rays Dodgers Game 1 was double than any Heat Lakers game. I think any playoff game I saw. Yeah.
Well, yeah. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter about the teams. It matters about the competitiveness.
That is true.
Like, you could have expect it was the best team in the AL against the best team in the NL. It was 1 against 5 in the NBA championship.
Yeah.
It's just not the same.
And then once you get to Game 2, no Dragic. I mean, did you expect people to really expect, this?
No, I didn't watch any. I think I watched the first half, the second half of Game 6.
Game 1 happens. Maybe you get a couple of people watching.
5. No, there was Game 6. Game 5.
Game 1, you get a couple of people watching that aren't Lakers or Heat fans, and then you get to Game 2 after no Bam, no.
That's a problem, though. That means the NBA is a bad product.
Well,
it is. It's terrible, and we've talked about this before.
Well, yeah, the NBA
terrible
is
sport.
Trash.
Or sorry, it's not a terrible sport. It's a terrible
business
league. It's a terrible league. Because the sport's there. The sport's good. March Madness proves that. A ton of people love March Madness. I love March Madness. We all love March Madness, and it's the same sport that the NBA plays. It's just the NBA is turning into the WWE. And it's becoming a show.
If it was like Lakers Bucks or Lakers Celtics, I fully expect it to be.
Lakers Celtics would have got the most ratings.
I would expect ratings. But
I think Lakers Bucks would have been the
Game 1. They had average ratings, still way below average, but they didn't have awful ratings. Game 2, no
5
Bam,
million
no
total for a game.
Game 2, no Bam, no Dragic. I didn't think anyone expected the Heat to win, which they didn't. Game.
So you don't watch a finals game?
If it's
5 million people watching a NBA finals game, that's bad.
I have NBA League Pass, but you don't see me tuning into Hornets Nets on when it's on because I have nothing better to do.
What?
Well,
it's not a good
dude. This is the NBA Finals.
It's not a good matchup. It's not a good matchup.
This means we've gone too far. This means we've
wrap it up.
It's not a good matchup.
It's over.
No one. What'd you expect?
It's over. Wrap it up. See you next week.
We're just saying that was a bad comparison because that's a regular season game no one cares about versus the NBA Finals. But whatever. Last thoughts.
Over. Wrap it up. Let's go next week, like Brian said.
Pats are gonna win like 5 games, and if you expect more, then you're an idiot.
Brian.
This took like an hour and a half. I'm sorry for your listeners.
Yeah, sorry for the 2 listeners. Actually, we had 5 last time.
No,
5.
you had 4 because one
You
of
had
them
4?
was me.
Well, so 4. Nice job. Yeah, we're slowly declining.
Well, here
So
I'll also
You
put
gotta
this
stop
out
being so
there.
negative.
I'll also put this out there. Nobody even gets to
Wait,
this part
Goldman.
of wow, Tampa's down 14-3. Nobody gets to this part of the episode because I saw that only 26% of our episode is listened to on average. So that's like
wow.
the first
So we
like
could
20
literally
minutes.
say
That
whatever
just
we
means we
want
go for too
right now.
long.
What's up? Yeah. All right. Thank you guys for listening. There's no outro needed because no one's going to listen to this except for Andrew or me when I listen to this back.
Follow us. Just
follow us on Instagram and Twitter.
Fine,
yes, Twitter. We are actually
we have
using
to go
it
back. We gotta say it 3 times.
at the Big
False
Four
from your
Square
false from middle,
podcast.
false
Oh,
from
that's
end.
true. We should have said at the beginning.
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh.
stupid. That's your
It's
fault.
on me. But yeah,
Luke.
thanks for listening. If you got this far, future us when we're listening to terrible podcasts when in like 2 or 3 years, and we just wanted to listen to this one. Thanks for listening. Peace.